Hey everybody, today I am actually in Noblesville, Indiana, and I'm in Dillon Park, and it's a park that's really kind of on the southwest side of Noblesville. And in this video, we're going to talk about, of course, Dillon Park a little bit, but use it to explain why sometimes people forget about Noblesville and all that Noblesville has to offer. It kind of gets overshadowed a lot of times. It flies under the radar a little bit, so we're going to get into that some. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, I'm Jason Compton with the Compton Home Group. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living in a place like Noblesville, Indiana, Indianapolis, Indiana, of course, or any of the cities and towns surrounding Indianapolis, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and tap the little bell so you're notified every time we do a new video. Now, we have people reaching out to us from all over the country with questions about Noblesville, if it's a fit for them. Some of the other cities that you can find on the north side, like Carmel, Fishers, Westfield, Zionsville, or even all the way on the south side, places like Greenwood, any of the cities and towns surrounding Indianapolis, and of course, Indianapolis itself. So if you have questions at all, then don't hesitate to reach out any way that you know how. We'll always have your back with those questions, and we'll certainly have your back when it comes time for you to make your move to the Indy Metro. Hey everybody, again, today I'm in Noblesville, Indiana, like I said, and on a super sunny morning, beautiful morning, actually. And we're going to talk about this park a little bit, and like I said at the beginning, how Noblesville flies under the radar. It gets overshadowed an awful lot. And for years, I've just really never understood why this is. Now, it doesn't happen for everybody, but it's a little perplexing sometimes, and I think this park might be a pretty good example of that. So I'm in Dillon Park. Dillon Park is huge. It's over 77 acres or so, right on the southwest side of Noblesville, and that's one of the confusing things about it, actually. But it has a couple of shelters, it has a disc golf course, they actually have concerts here in the summer, and some walking paths. Not necessarily hiking or anything like that, but walking paths like I'm on right now, and I can see somebody over on the disc golf course at the moment throwing some discs. That's the proper, I think, term for them. Not frisbees, they're discs. I don't play, but that's what I've been told by some serious disc golfers. So anyhow, this park, Dillon Park, I've actually heard people talk about this before, and it's not everybody, but it's a few, and I can see where the confusion can come from. But they'll say, oh yeah, Dillon Park, that is an awesome park, great Carmel Park. Nah, it's not a Carmel Park, it's a Noblesville Park. Now, its location being so far southwest side, it's right on 146th Street. So the border between Carmel and Westfield to the north is 146th Street generally, and Fishers and Noblesville, just to the east side of that, is 146th Street generally. But you get into this little area at 146th Street and Hazeldale Road where you kind of don't know if you're in the most northeastern portion of Carmel, at least some of it. Some of Carmel actually goes north of that, up to 161st Street, and the Bridgewater Club and places like that are in there, but generally 146th Street. Or are you on the border of Noblesville? So this right here, people have actually said, oh, it's such a sweet Carmel Park, but it isn't. It's a Noblesville Park. So everybody should be clear on that because it's such a good example of some of the things that Noblesville really has to offer. So whenever people are researching places to live around Indianapolis, so they want to be outside the city, let's say, and they want to be on the north side in the northern suburbs, do some searching. Some places like Carmel, of course, come up in their search often. Fishers, Indiana, definitely comes up often. Westfield, Indiana, which has exploded and grown, is more than 40,000 people there now, and it wasn't that big just 15, 20 years ago. And it is a very nice place to live, for sure. It comes up in search an awful lot. And of course, Zionsville too. Carmel and Zionsville, the two most expensive places to live outside of Indianapolis. Fishers and Westfield, they're not too far behind. But it seems like Noblesville actually comes up a lot less than those places. Now, that's not a knock on Carmel, Fishers, Westfield, Zionsville, because they're all exceptionally nice. There's no doubt about that. They all have incredibly nice homes. They all have a city center, a downtown area that is different from one another. And so they all have their own unique personality, and there's plenty to do in each of those cities, except for Zionsville. Zionsville's a town, but plenty to do there. But there's plenty to do in all of those places regardless. So, we're not talking about snowboarding and things like that, stuff that you can't do in central Indiana easily. You can travel a little bit up to Michigan or southern Indiana and do a little bit of it, but it's not going to be like it is out west, of course. We all know that. It's not in the mountains. So outside of stuff geographically that you're limited to, there's a ton to do. And you don't have to leave those cities or towns in order to get entertainment. You can go into Indianapolis and get your Colts and Pacers and Fever and things like that if you want to, in your museums, in your Indianapolis culture, of course. But they all have a dose of their own. But Noblesville is kind of just there floating around. People sometimes know about it and sometimes they don't. We talk to people moving in from all over the country, and they of course want to know about if the north side is geographically a good fit for them, and they know as far as commute or schools or where they need to be at any given day, it's a good spot. Then they talk about Carmel and Westfield and Fishers, but Noblesville rarely comes up. And so I'll often say, or my partner brother Chris will often say, have you guys considered Noblesville? There aren't a lot of negatives for Noblesville. It's slightly more affordable than the other cities that you have on the north side, only slightly. It's not a tremendous amount. The schools in Noblesville are highly rated as well, just like they are all across the entire north side. But Noblesville has so much variety, and this park is actually a really good example of that. So if you want parks like this, nearly 80 acres, actually Noblesville has it. Do you want affordable homes? Noblesville has those, but do you also want luxury homes? Do you need a $800,000, $900,000, $1 million home? Noblesville absolutely has those. Do you need just a little bit more space? Noblesville doesn't necessarily offer that in abundance, but you might have a few more options where you get a little bit more space. Certainly than you might find in a place like Carmel, which is really pretty dense. There are a lot of people there in Carmel, a little over 100,000, and there's just over 60,000 in Noblesville. But geographically, Noblesville is actually, coming out here into the sun, is actually a pretty good sized place. It's spread out. So it has all of those things as far as homes are concerned, but it also has the biggest music venue in the entire area, RUOFF Music Center. This is where big names, if they don't go to Lucas Oil Stadium downtown Indianapolis, or if they don't go to Bankers Life Fieldhouse in downtown Indianapolis, then they're going to RUOFF. So huge bands that at least bring in a ton of people. They have country acts there, and whether you're a Dave Matthews Band fan or not, I don't care, whatever, but they have at least 2 nights for that band there because they know they're gonna pack in 25 to 30,000 people. So it's a huge facility. Do you want shopping? Noblesville has Hamilton Town Center, which is the biggest outdoor mall in the entire area. There are other big places like that. You can get into the shops at Perry Crossing down in Plainfield. You can of course get into Clay Terrace over in Carmel, but Hamilton Town Center is huge. It's an enormous outdoor shopping area. That's right in Noblesville. Do you want to boat, ski, tube, anything like that? Well, they have MORSE Reservoir in Noblesville. And it's actually a little bit more accessible, in my opinion, than some of the other places that you're going to find around Indianapolis, like really popular Geist Reservoir. So MORSE, it's right here in Noblesville. Golf courses, Noblesville has golf courses, just like Carmel does, or Fishers, if that's something that you're really into. There are really affordable public courses in Noblesville, kind of like Stony Creek or Fox Prairie Golf Course. You can also get into some luxury golf courses with huge luxury homes, and we're talking about those $7, $8, $9 million homes out at the Sagamore Club. So it has so many different things that honestly some of the other cities don't have. And it's not as if you're going to use all of those things every single day of the week when you're living here, but if you're living in Noblesville, you're going to be exceptionally close to those. About the only negative that I could actually see with Noblesville, truly, is its location. So it is really far to the northeast. It's north of Fishers, and Fishers is already on the northeast side. So if you had to commute, let's say, from Noblesville into downtown Indianapolis, oh, that's going to be a drive. Geographically, just the mileage, that's a long commute. And so if you run into traffic, which you probably will in the morning and the evening, it's going to take you a while. And I've known some people that have lived in Noblesville, and not just Noblesville, but way north Noblesville, and they've worked downtown, and they're looking at a 45-minute commute almost every single day, and that's really on a pretty good day. So it can get worse than that. But outside of that, and we can dig into some of the negatives about Noblesville, but honestly, I think we're going to be splitting some hairs. If the home is right for you, the price is right for you, and you like a lot of the different things that Noblesville has to offer that I've just mentioned in this video, Noblesville could be a good fit. It could be an option, absolutely. And there are other parts of Noblesville that I actually even haven't mentioned in this video that I feel like are pretty unique. So Noblesville could be that alternative for you that maybe you've never thought of before. You've seen it on the map, or you've researched and it's come up a little bit, but everything is just kind of pointing you towards some of these other cities on the outside of Indianapolis. Bring Noblesville back in just as an option. It can certainly open up more options for you, and at least give it a look to see what it has to offer and see if it's something that could actually fit what you're looking for. In fact, I'm kind of walking over here to the east side of Dillon Park right now, and the disc golf course just goes all around the park here. It's actually kind of cool. But this is where they have a lot of their concerts, and just out here in the wide open. Pretty awesome little space, and got a nice big shelter up here too. But just a conveniently located park too. I'm looking right over here at 146th Street. Of course, that's not super attractive. The cars going by, but just that it's right here, so easy to access from so many different neighborhoods. Where I parked, actually way over on the west side of the park, there's a Kroger and a bunch of other little shops and restaurants right there next to that as well. So you're not out here in the boonies, that's for sure. There is a park in Noblesville that I absolutely love that kind of is out in the boonies a little bit, but that's the purpose of it, and that's Katawi Park. And Katawi Park is almost kind of like a living museum of what life was like in that particular part of the state, really hundreds of years ago. And it's unique too. There's an archery range. You can do some horseback riding. They actually have a hill, and it's not dramatic and crazy, but in the winter you can do some tubing there. We don't get a lot of snow, but they actually make some snow, artificial snow there, so it's really pretty cool. And you can hike through there at Katawi Park and just do a number of different things that are outside and outdoorsy compared to what you can just at your normal city park. So Noblesville has that, which is super, super unique and super cool. But if you guys have questions at all about Noblesville and how it might be a fit for you, and some of the other things and features that maybe what you're looking for and how Noblesville could match, or maybe not, then make sure you reach out. Until the next one, see you later.